One Republican congressman predicted back in February that we'd never learn the truth about what really happened to the disgraced pedophile.
What are we going to learn?
Just today, the FBI found 1,400 new files. Now, I don't know, they're as crooked as a dog's leg, as we say in East Tennessee. I don't trust any of them. I don't think we're going to get, I don't know. No, just no.
Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee, member of the House Oversight Accountability Committee, joins us now. The confident smile of a man who can say, "I told you so," is what I see on your face, sir.
I don't take any pleasure in it. I want to bury those dirtbags, but I'm afraid I was right. I've seen too much of it. And every time they're supposed to release something, they never do, whether it be UFOs, JFK, RFK. This is just, it's the nature of the beast up here.
Who are the dirtbags?
I think your second, third level tier people that are in a lot of these departments that we never get to. You have staffers and things like that on the Capitol Hill that leak things, that stop important pieces of legislation. And I just feel like you've got to, I guess I'll write about it in my book if I live to tell that day. But I think the files existed at one time. I think they were destroyed in the previous administration. And I think if they'd ever had anything on Trump, it would have been out day one.
Agreed.
Under the Biden administration. And I think there's some very prominent people. There's Hollywood people, but I think there's world leaders too. And would it have caused economic disruption around the globe? Maybe, but I don't really care. I want to.
You think there's a theory? Is there a theory, perhaps, that none of the, or not none, but maybe some of the people on the list didn't do anything wrong, and this would be a terrible guilt by association to put their names out, just to put everybody's name out? No one's been charged with a crime. Put all these people's names out, and suddenly, because they had an interaction with Epstein that was completely benign, they're labeled as one of his buddies?
What's Miss Maxwell doing in jail? What did she do? Where is that? Who did she provide whatever she did? Why is she in jail? That's got to be a question that should be asked at some point. But again, under the previous administration, we're not going to get that. Dead men tell no tales. He's dead. And
well, I just want to be clear what you're saying. Are you saying the previous administration destroyed everything, or are you saying that the Trump administration is basically doing the same thing as the previous administration?
No, I think they destroyed everything. I think.
So why wouldn't Pam Bondi say that?
She doesn't have any proof of it. I'm just telling you what I think. I've been around this town enough. I think she's got over her skis pretty much, saying all this stuff. The files are on my desk. I'm going to release it. And then she releases stuff that I knew, so I just don't think, I think they all got out there, got a little excited, and I don't think they exist. And that's my currently. I think they did it. I think they did it one time. You got an administration that lied about it, said Hunter Biden didn't, his laptop, that didn't exist. That's Russian. You had 30 of the top
I get all that.
Intelligence people in the country say that, and they didn't get chastised by anybody but y'all and a couple others.
No, look, we chastise everybody equally. It's why we appreciate you being willing to cut. Yeah, you know that better than most. But I want to play for you Bill O'Reilly on how he sees it. Take a listen.
Okay.
I talked to President Trump man to man, eye to eye, on St. Patrick's Day about this and the Kennedy files and the King files. It was all one conversation. And he said, and I agree, there are a lot of names associated with Epstein that had nothing to do with Epstein's conduct. They maybe had lunch with him or maybe had some correspondence for one thing or another. If that name gets out, those people are destroyed.
So his theory is kind of the same as what I just put out. The flip side of that is that he also said that this is going to hurt Trump because Trump promised this, Pam Bondi promised this. They made a big deal about it in the campaign. And now there's nothing to see. You agree? You seem upset.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I don't think they ever had it. I think they were told they had it. And again, this is a bureaucrat deciding what you and I can handle. And I don't buy that. I don't buy that at all. I think they could release it and say these people were not considered conspirators. I mean, they were not conspirators. They weren't considered pedophiles or involved in anything. They visited. They flew on. I mean, Trump flew on his plane, but that's just because it was on the manifest. But he didn't fly to freaking pedophile island. He flew from like Florida up to New York, and that's what rich people do. I know rich people that do that all the time. There is a difference, and I think you could make that designation
between different people. I agree with you on this. What's missing from the Epstein files? Thousands of pages of investigative documents, video and digital evidence. Who knows what actually the client list was, whether there was a list or they'd have to come up with a list based on everything else. The victim information and the evidence of broader blackmail schemes. Also, why people gave him so much money to manage when he was, by all accounts, a pretty sort of average to poor money manager is something that's out there. This now from our partners at The Hill. Democrats gloat as MAGA world explodes over Epstein files. Democrats are also exploiting the division to advance another unfounded theory that Trump won't release the files because he's featured within them. But more importantly, the fact that there's this big division in MAGA world over this, what does that say to you?
I think there's a division, but of course the Democrats in the Hill are not on our side. They're going to stir everything up, just like Elon Musk. Now they're their biggest fan because he's starting some crazy third party. And so, I just don't buy that. I don't buy that. And I mean, you've got these news organizations and they're friends of mine, but dadgummit, come on. They're so far to the left, they come around to the other side almost. So I don't buy that. I think there'll be another bright, shiny object out there and folks will get distracted again. But again, this is what happens in a country where 12 to 15% of the people who are eligible to vote. You got to get educated. We got to get people in office that have some guts and have some moral and have some morals. And currently we're, I'm kind of in the minority in the not in the morals department, but just in the fact that I don't come from money. The big boys hate my guts. They love me the day after the election, and I get that. I get that all the time. I'll never raise the money they do. I get the threats from leadership or people that associate with the leadership tell me that I need to calm down on stuff, and then I remind them. I say, "Well,
is anybody telling you? Is anybody? I got to run in a minute, but I want you to answer this for me. Is anybody getting on you about the Epstein stuff? Were you ever told to pipe down about that? Are you being told now, like, let's just move on from this?
Yeah, but here's how it works. I've had them come talk to me on the floor about things, and we'll just leave it at that, things. And I said, well, it's the truth though, right? And they said, well, yeah, it's the truth, but you just got to quit saying it. And the way it works is kind of like I've had this stuff happen to me. It's kind of like
sounds like the mob or something.
Well, it's Washington D.C. Are you paying attention?
There's some similarities.
But no, but no. I mean, I'm walking down the hall. I'm walking down the hall, and a member that I know who's a friend tells me, hey man, do we really need to dig into this? Don't you think you need to maybe back off? And that's how it works. Not random. That's how it works.
That's how it works. And we always appreciate you being willing to come on and talk about it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.